Hey, this is Gratuitous. Welcome to Music Production Made Simple, the show that focuses on best practices about music production, which is based on FL Studio. If you're wanting to become the best producer you could be, subscribe and listen weekly. You can also check out my courses, which teach you the principles and basics of music production. They'll get you up and running quickly. In addition, I also have books on Amazon and tons of music on Spotify. Always feel free to hit me up at hi@itsgratuitous.com. So let's get into the episode. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 27. In this episode, I want to talk to you about collaborating in the music industry. Okay, so collaborating is a very, very powerful tool, other known as like networking and, trying to find someone else with similar interests to help your brand, your product, to help it grow. Okay, you have the potential to reach different fans and everything like that. So I just want to talk a little bit about my story of networking and collaborating. Okay. So for my actual music, I really don't like collaborating with other producers. If I were to collaborate, it would be more with like a singer or maybe like another artist or something like that. But my main reason for that is because, I am a producer for the name of Jesus. And when I say that, I say it because, I want to make sure that the message that I'm trying to portray stays that message, okay? And, if you work with these different artists or different producers and all of a sudden, right now, maybe they're working with you and on that same message, but later on in life, maybe something might happen to them. And these decisions that they make can reflect on you if you do decide to collaborate with these different artists and producers. And that's just my own personal opinion when it comes to my own music, okay? But for my courses and products and things that I've created, in the music industry, I like to collaborate with different, vendors and different online stores that, sell my courses and stuff like that. And that has done very, very well for me. But for my music, I just kind of keep it separate. I like it to be kind of special, my own thing. And then again, maybe if I was working with like a female singer or something like that, that's where I'd kind of, collaborate. That would be kind of like my goal. So I just wanted to kind of share that just to kind of give you a reference of how I look at collaborating. So my music is kind of separate, but when it comes to like my courses and products, I'm totally open to working with like, different online stores. So I have a whole bunch of kind of different questions for you guys to think about. And then I have some further points inside of those questions to get you thinking about networking and collaborating and things that you want to be thinking about, okay? Because there's a lot of pros to networking and collaborating, but there are some cons and they can be dangerous to you and your career if you don't approach them wisely, okay? And it's to do with like someone's influence, right? Like if somebody is able to get a good reach, so for example, if you look at like their Twitter profile or their YouTube channel or whatever, and you can see that they, they're killing it, they're doing really, really good. But then you look at your profile and, like not many followers, so you kind of got to be thinking that way. Or it could be the other way around. If you're starting to do good and the other person isn't doing that good, they could be trying to collaborate with you for their gain, but really you're not benefiting from that. So a network, a collaboration is benefiting both parties. Those are like the really, really good, deals. Okay, so on to the first question. So why does someone want to collaborate with someone? And my answer to that is, the opportunity for bigger reach and growth in audience and income. Okay, so, really how it works is, their fans find you, your fans find them, and your business, just starts to grow. So that's really like the biggest benefit of collaborating is just the opportunity for more growth, okay? So what benefits does collaborating bring to our second question, okay? You get to meet like-minded people within the music industry. So just because you've collaborated with this one person, maybe someone else sees that you've collaborated, or you can meet someone through that person. And, that's just kind of how it works. And, within the music industry, with us being, behind a computer in our rooms, it's like we're not really able to reach out and interact like we are in, like a real job where, you can kind of meet different workers and, who knows where these relationships can kind of go, right? In the online world, again, since you're behind that computer, when you do collaborate, on like a product or on a song or whatever, people get to start to know these different names, okay? Because, they kind of work together. It also makes working a lot more fun because for myself working solo, I do have to admit, it's a very, very tiring process. I like it because, it's like me behind this computer, when I create my courses, when I create my beats, the beat tapes, I do all the production, I do all the mixing, I do all the mastering. But at the same time, that means that it takes longer to kind of release because it's like I'm the one doing everything. Eventually, you kind of get tired. For me, at the moment, I still do work a full-time job. So so the time that I have, it's like, do I really want to be making music when I just worked, 40 hours in a week? So, those things kind of start to come into play. Whereas when you work with more people, it kind of sparks that energy. Okay. It makes it more fun. Sometimes it can kind of spread half the workload, so sometimes it's like, maybe you can do like the mixing, they do like the mastering, or, so it just speeds, the actual process up. And then again, there's huge potential for growth. Their fans find you, your fans find them. Okay. So that is in the question, what benefits does collaborating bring? Now, the next question I want you to think about is collaborating something for you? Okay. Now, again, when it comes to actually collaborating with somebody, you got to be kind of thinking wisely in your choices of who to connect with and who to email and how you word yourself inside that email. And I'll tell you right now, sometimes your emails, go to the person and you actually get a response, and sometimes you don't. It doesn't mean that that person does not see your email. It could be either they feel that, their influence is better than yours, maybe that you don't bring them benefit. But that's not to say to give up because, maybe today you're not at that level. But if you keep working, you keep learning the industry, you keep learning music production, music theory, learning your piano, become better behind the keys. Eventually, you start growing. And as you start to grow, you kind of get this foundation laid. And now other people will want to connect and want to work with you because they see that, you have skills, that you've come further from when you first started, okay? So to repeat the question, is collaborating something for you? So who should you collaborate with? Something you want to be thinking about is, does their persona kind of match yours? Okay. So, when you make your music, kind of like the vibe you put out to other people, you don't have to stay within that industry, right? But what I'm trying to say is you kind of want to be working with like-minded people. Okay. And then, as you start to grow, maybe there will be that person, or that brand or whatever that's totally different from you, but, you connect in such a natural way. But when you first get started, I would suggest kind of working with, kind of similar people to your style of music. But again, just always think about your decisions and who you're collaborating with and the pros and cons of it. Okay. So the pros is, yes, you're getting that reach, but the cons, is their lifestyle, is the things that they say, the things that they do, are those the things that you want portrayed on your name as well? Okay. Because again, when you work with somebody, your name is also attached to that. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, so for our next question, so how should you approach someone to collaborate with? Okay. So again, you want to be thinking at your skill level. If you're first just starting, I would suggest don't even look at the collaborating aspect of any of this. You have to spend the time to learn your music production program. And this is the problem for a lot of producers. They don't want to spend the time to actually learn the program. Like for myself, I know FL Studio so well now that it's just, I don't even have to watch tutorials or anything anymore. If I were to watch a tutorial, it's more like learning a specific technique or something. It's no longer about, learning how to use the program because it's on my keyboard, it's I know all the shortcuts, if you hit F7 or F5 or F9, F9 is the mixer, F5 is the playlist, F7 is the piano roll, right? So stuff like that. It's just, it speeds you up knowing all these shortcuts, and you have to put the time in to learn your music production program before you even think about, growing your brand and trying to network. Okay. So your skill level, the potential person you're thinking to connect with, does their skill level match yours? Now, sometimes someone may be, may have a better reach than you, they're doing better than you in a sense of financial and social influence. That doesn't mean that they wouldn't work with you, okay? it all depends on how you approach them and what you're wanting out of it. If you've just started up and you're not very good at music production and you're trying to reach out with like an established brand or producer, it's like, what benefit are you bringing them? So again, the whole benefit of collaboration is both parties are bringing something to the table that they can both benefit from, right? Again, imagine you both created one course, or imagine someone created a course and then someone else's website sells courses and, they make a lot of money selling courses. Well, yes, they can work together and there's a good relationship there. It's nice and healthy because one person creates the courses, the other person sells the courses. So again, it's kind of like half the workload. So when you reach out to somebody, you kind of got to have this, ingenuity to kind of realize, is that person out of reach? And at the moment, they could be. But as you proceed within your career, it could be a year, it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years, it could be 7 years. Like even for myself, when I first started up, I've seen different stores or different producers or whatever, and it's like, oh, you know what, they're out of my reach. But as I've continued, as I've started to grow, I've actually started to work with some of these brands and some of these stores. And it's really rewarding to see that after I've put in, the effort and the time to learn all this stuff, that now I'm actually working with, whatever brand that is, compared to when I first started, where, I felt that, there's no chance to ever work with that person or that brand okay. So I say that more as a kind of inspiration to you that, don't get greedy, be patient, and, work at your skills first, and then your skills will reap the rewards of your patience and the efforts that you've put in to learn, your music program, your tool, okay? One point I wanted to say here, it's on the same topic. It's about like the skill level. So sometimes people's clout, okay? So there used to be a website called Clout, and it just showed like your influence, like your social influence, but sometimes people's clout is better than yours. Or again, you could be on the same level, or sometimes you can be a little bit above somebody. But again, you just got to look at what do both parties bring to the table, okay? One thing I want to talk about, I already mentioned it a little bit, but it's just the same industry versus different industries. So for example, music production, it's like, yeah, well, you're collaborating with these different producers or different artists or whatever to create this song. But to collaborate, it doesn't have to be with music, and we see this all the time with like celebrities and stuff like that. So that's just something to think about as you start to advance and you start to grow. You can network within these different industries, and these different industries start to know you for what you do, and a healthy relationship can be built there as well. I just want to mention some different types of collaborating. Okay, so I've already mentioned some of these. So you guys can create a product together. Okay, so for example, let's say it was, how to make your drums hit hard or something. If you both went in on that course, it kind of gives maybe a kind of cool atmosphere to the actual student that they actually have two instructors. Or probably the easiest way to approach, collaboration is you create your product. Let's say it's a course, or let's say it's a drum kit, or, VST presets. And you create that product. Now you can sell it, through these other stores. Okay, so you guys are collaborating using the stores, their reach. A lot of these stores, reach thousands, tens of thousands of people a day. It just allows you to, jump into that marketplace nice and easy. And they're willing to take you on because, if they can sell your product, they make money, and they didn't really have to spend any time creating it. They're just selling it. So, those are really, really good ways to collaborate. Another way is through sponsorships, okay? So, for myself, I have tons of courses. So let's say, a producer is putting on a contest or something, and, they reach out to me. They're like, hey, would you be interested in, donating some prizes to the winner of this contest or something, or even for myself, when I ran the website Beat Struggles, I used to run a couple contests, and I reached out to different companies. I think there was like IK Multimedia, there was like Sugar Bites that donated some VSTs. So, through sponsorships, their brand is visible to these contestants and people who are listening to the contestants' results and stuff like that. It's just awareness. They're getting their brand in front of people's eyes, right? And it's through sponsorships. So it's kind of just like another form of like advertising, but so that's just another way to collaborate. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have to say about collaborating in the music industry. It can bring you tremendous benefits, huge opportunity for growth, but it all comes down to finding the right people for you at that time in your life and in your career. Again, don't get greedy, but at the same time, you do got to kind of have thick skin. And again, what I mean by that is if you reach out to someone through email or through whatever, and you get, you don't get a response or whatever, that doesn't mean to give up. It just means continue with what you're doing, keep practicing your skills. And when you get to that level, it will be a lot easier to reach these companies and these brands. And I say that because I've experienced this myself, and it's an amazing feeling that, I know I've worked hard to get to where I am, and now I'm able to work with, other, brands and, companies that have also worked hard to get to where they are, right? So you can get to that level too. Just you have to put the time in, but collaborating can help you reach that growth even faster. So again, for myself, I really didn't collaborate too much at all throughout my own productions and stuff like that. Like I have worked with a few artists and stuff like that, but later on in my career, more so, I've just been strictly solo. I just enjoy creating music myself, being original behind my music. Again, I'm a big advocate for creating what you think sounds good, not what's currently trending, which is trap. I honestly wish trap would go away, and it's not going away. It came here, that 808, those hi-hat triplets, even like those claps and those snares, they're just reused sounds over and over and over again in every single song. And it's just like, there's just no originality. And it's not like so much like the genre that bugs me. It's almost like that the producers aren't trying to, just create something that is themselves. They're trying to create what's in so that they can, grow within that trend. And again, that's to do with like the collaborating too, because, since whatever genre is popular, these producers are creating. But I'm a big advocate for, being original, creating what I think sounds good. Like even if you listen to like my beat tapes are on Spotify. I currently have 8 beat tapes out there. I'm working on my 9th right now. But if you just listen, like the variety, like it goes from like a dance track to like a hip hop track to like a really emotional urban track. And it's just, when I sit here behind a computer and to produce that music, I just find it way more enjoyable to listen to mix, to work with. It makes me as a producer way more versatile. Like if I want to work with these different artists or whatever. That was a rant more about, just like this kind of like collaborating and why I just kind of stick to myself and I like to do my own thing. But you guys do have the potential for huge growth behind collaborating. So let me know what you guys think. Have you guys collaborated yet? Has it helped you? Have you had a good experience? Have you had bad experiences? So email me, reach out to me, tell me some stories. So my email is hi, so hi at itsgratuitous.com. I'd really, really like to read it and kind of, I'm kind of intrigued by that stuff because like I said, collaborating has huge potential if it's done in the right way. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed. I currently do have ideas for new courses coming out here. I want to actually go over one of my beat tapes. I'll probably go over my volume 8. I just want to go over each song, how I produced it, start with like the drum loop, work into like the instruments, talk about the arrangement, talk about audio painting. Audio painting is what I use to describe how to transition from different parts of the song. I've written a book on that. It's on Amazon. It's called Audio Painting. And I want to come out with a bunch of other courses. Whenever I think of an idea for a course, I write it down in a list. And then when I have time, I kind of tackle that course. And, if you're a part of my membership on my website, itsgratuitous.com, there's a monthly or a lifetime membership. Lifetime, you just pay once and you have access to all courses and all future courses. So if you're a part of the membership, you get all these courses whenever I release them, okay? So I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. So take care. Thanks for checking out the episode. If you had any questions, visit itsgratuitous.com/podcast, select an episode, and submit your question at the bottom of the page to the contact form. If you'd like to take my FL Studio courses, see my current studio and podcasting gear, read my books, or are interested in lessons, visit the link itsgratuitous.com/learning. That page will redirect you to more info and resources. I hope the best with your productions. I'm Gratuitous, and I'll see you in the next episode.